What's going on? What's going on, brothers? What's going on, man? It is your dude, Mr. International Passport, here again for yet another classic feature live stream. First and foremost, can y'all press A1 in the live stream chat if y'all can hear me loud and clear? TK, am I good? Is my audio good, bro, on your end?
You're good, man. You're good.
Super. All right, brothers, press A1 in the live stream chat. I want to make sure that y'all can hear me loud and clear. My guests can hear me good. I need to make sure that you brothers can hear me across the interwebs. Base pull clips, pardon me. Moses anomaly. Can I get a couple more ones, please, brothers? Who else is here? Give me one more one to make sure I'm good on the live stream chat. Brothers, press A1. Press A1 right now, please. Am I good? I think I'm good. Can I get one more one? Thank you, Gary. All right, appreciate you. So, brothers, welcome to another Future Classic live stream. I'm your host, Mr. International Passport, Worldwide Traveler, Passport Bro, IT Bro. I love IT, and I'm pushing out to you, brothers. Make sure you go and join my upcoming Python course. And of course, I appreciate all the brothers that have supported over the past couple of years. Your support has been greatly appreciated. Welcome aboard the new people. I accept and embrace you with open arms. So when you come in tonight, brothers, please like the video. Likes are extremely important. We've got over 25 people watching right now. Get the likes up, please like the video. I should see 25 likes. Of course, make sure you join the Patreon for behind the scenes intel in regards to Chinese women, foreign women, and traveling. Make sure you book your IT consultations if you want to get in touch with me. That'd be greatly appreciated. You want IT help, CV help, travel help, book a consultation and within the Kindly link on the live stream and comment section and description box. Cop the merch, hit the PayPal tonight, hit the super chats. That'd be greatly appreciated. Now, let's get it cracking. Okay, so I got a very special guest here with me called Mr. TK, who is currently in China right now, brother. TK, how you doing, bro?
I'm well, man. I'm well. Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, bro. I'm doing fantastic, bro. I'm in the UK right now. You're in China. I'm somehow able to speak over the internet. Technology is amazing, bro. I'm telling you. So, TK, give us so brother, this would be a live stream about life in China, right? What we need to know, good, bad, dating, food, cost of living, the whole 369 yard. So, TK, can we get a brief intro about who you are, where you're from in America, and anything interesting about you, bro?
Yeah. My name is TK, but my name is Tuquan Thomas, and I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Graduate of Virginia State University back in '03. I'm the oldest child of seven kids, four sisters and two brothers. Got a big family. Um, what else? I'm an artist. I'm not just a teacher, but I'm an artist. I teach ESL in China, like you said earlier. I've been teaching in China for 4 years, so my stay was tainted with the pandemic. But I love teaching. It's been a great experience, and I'm trying to think of anything else. But yeah, I like drinking coffee, going to the gym, that just normal stuff, and that's about it for me for now.
Amazing intro, bro. Amazing. So, brother, I'm going to ask you a question here, right? And I'm wondering, why are you in China, right? And I'm just wondering. There's South Korea you could have taught English in. There's Japan you could have taught English in. There's Taiwan you could have taught English in as well. You know, uh, why China of all countries? How did you find yourself in China, bro?
Yeah, man. Okay, I would to backtrack a bit. I used to be married. I was married roughly 7 years ago. I'm divorced now, and during that period it was low period, so I was looking for something else to do. At the time, I used to work with the government. I was a contractor for the government at the time. Didn't like my job. Going through the emotional roller coaster of a divorce. Not that it was that bad, but when you're by yourself, you're thinking. You're just like, okay, what should I do next? So I, prayed about it, asked God. It's okay, God, what's my next move? And I remember driving. I lived in Virginia at the time. I was driving. I went to see my ex-wife, and you know, she has a friend that I know, and we were just talking, and he was like, "Hey, dude, what's going on?" I was like, you know, basically quit my job and looking for something to do, and just long story short, we were just talking, and he mentioned his wife knew has a friend that's in Abu Dhabi, and I was like, Abu Dhabi. Wait, I was like, I recognize that, Bahrain and Dubai. You know, it popped in my mind because prior to teaching years ago, I served 5 years in the Navy. So I've been to Bahrain and Dubai. So I was like, how'd she get out there? And he said she was teaching. And that's when the light bulb went off. And I said, teaching? Teaching what? Like teaching English. So I had no clue about ESL. Had no clue at all. I didn't know what it was. That's how oblivious I was to it. So I just started researching. This is in 2017. Yeah, I started researching and just looking at videos on YouTube. Then I found International TEFL Academy where I got my TEFL, teaching English as a foreign language certificate, and the rest went from there. I remember that you asked me how I get to China. That a lot of praying, man. A lot of praying, a lot of fasting. I'm in faith, so I don't like making decisions impulsively. I like to pray about everything because I wanted to make sure it wasn't me trying to run from America or run from the emotional side of things. I wanted to make sure it was pure, and I prayed about the whole process. And I remember hitting the button to submit to be part of this TEFL program, and I was like nervous because at that time I was roughly 37, going to 38. I'd been to school for years. You know, here I am, left the government, kind of doing my thing. I didn't think I had what it takes to teach English because my major is visual arts. I'm an artist at heart. So going on forward with that, I pretty much did that. And I prayed again. I prayed about everything, made sure I heard from God, made sure, and everything lined up. This would be funny. One of my last steps was going to the Chinese embassy in Washington, D.C. And, even my ticket number, I was looking at all the numbers. I was looking for anything I could find that was holy, or just some divine intervention because I want to make sure it's right. So I look at my ticket number, I can't remember the series of numbers on it, but it all added up to 8. And I don't know if you read, but the 8 means new beginnings. And so I'm sitting at the embassy, getting the last steps of my paperwork, getting stamped. And this woman, Chinese woman, she sits by me. She said, "Can I sit here?" I said, "Yeah, sure." It's okay. We're just waiting for, the queue and all that, waiting for our paperwork to be processed. And she was like, "So where are you going?" And I said, "Going to China." And she said, "What? Where were you going?" Because, let me backtrack just a little bit. My choices, the 3 countries I wanted to go to teach English was Vietnam, China, and Brazil. So I'm gonna get back to what I said earlier. So I was praying. I said, "God, where you want me to go?" I said, "You want me to go to Vietnam?" And he basically told me, "Not now, not at this time." I said, "What about Brazil?" He's like, "No." Like, no, don't go there because I'm a man and there's a lot of beautiful women out there. That they used to prevent me or something. And then they said China, and I was like, "China, really? China?" So that's when So now going back to where I was at the embassy, this lady sat next to me. She was talking to me, asking me where I was going, and I found a job and everything. It was in Changsha. I didn't know what Changsha was. I didn't know what Hunan province. I didn't know any of this stuff. So I told her eyes got really big. She said, "Oh my God, you're going to Changsha? I love Changsha. I love it." And we were just talking, and she said, "Wow, you're gonna really like it." She's like, "Do you like spicy food?" I said, "No." There's a lot of spicy food out there, so be careful. I said, "Okay." And her number got called up, and then I asked her, I said, "Man," I said, "What's your name?" And she said, "My name is Grace." And I was like, "Holy cow!" And I those little signs that told me, okay, I'm on the right path, and that's what led me to go to China. That was all God.
Wow, amazing, bro, amazing. Was she a Chinese woman that was called Grace?
Yes, she was. That's what what was the chances of that happening? I was like, I said, "Your name is Grace?" She said, "Yes, my name is Grace." she had a Chinese name, but most Chinese people either have both names or one. But her English name was Grace. Out of all names, I said, "Wow, that's crazy."
Amazing, bro. So going on from there, brother, right? Going on from there. Amazing, inspirational story so far. So you found yourself living in China right now, bro, which is awesome. Um,
Yeah.
you're teaching English currently there, brother. How is it like
Right.
living in China as a black man? That's my first question to you, brother. I'll keep it real with you, brother. I have heard a lot of crazy stories about, how Chinese people don't like black people. They disrespect black people. They oppress black people in China. They talk reckless
Mm,
to black people. They just don't like black skin and black people. That there's
mm,
some sort of ritual they have towards us, and it makes total sense, right? We never enslaved the
right.
Chinese people. We never oppressed the Chinese people, right? We never harmed Chinese people in their history. Why do they hate us,
Right.
brother? Brother, can you confirm whether you know you as a black man do you get hate from Chinese people? How is it like living there, brother?
I wouldn't say I get hate. It's that's I mean everything you said. Yeah, I see it, but what I try to do, and I'm gonna speak for myself, it's hard, because I'm coming from America. I already deal with enough with this, on the on surface and on the low cut level, So I'm already coming with my faculties, and I had to remember that, like I'm in a different place. So sometimes I had to discern, and it would drive. And don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I react to situations because I thought it was a race thing, but a lot of times it's a curiosity thing, or it's an ignorance thing, and that's where it's like it feels like you're doing a lot of mental gymnastics because you don't want to be on guard or at all times. So I still want to be inviting, but sometimes I find myself thinking about it like, okay, what they really after, and sometimes I have to just let my guard down and just take the experience for what it is. But get back to what you said about the stigma about skin color. I've seen it in different effects. When I used to work at the training center for per se, I was there in that city where I mentioned Changsha. I was their first black hire for that school. So when I went there, of course, it was a lot of South Africans or British, and that was the default. That's what they were used to. So I came along, and it was like, people were curious. It was like, "Hey, where you from?" And I said, "I'm from America." And then you get the parents. They you can see it. They're not sizing you up, but they're measuring you against what's already there. And I'm not saying I had a lot to prove. I'm not somebody that lives by that. Like, I'm gonna prove to you that I'm better. But it took some time to gain their trust. And I say it like this, brother. Um, the families, they went from being afraid of me to when it was time for me to go 2+ years later, they went to praising me, loving me. Like, it was really remarkable experience because I had to show them that, I knew I was representing America. I know I'm representing the man of God. I knew I'm representing my family. I always kept that in the back of my mind because of how I carried myself. And I had a lot of parents come to me and say, "Wow, you're so professional, you're so responsible. You really care about our kids." I said, "Yeah, I love my kids. I mean, I love your kids. I treat them like they're my own because I want to be a dad someday." So that always fueled me, and it gave them the impression that, wow, they're not so bad. I said, "No, we're great. We're awesome. But a lot of it comes from just and I don't want to advocate their actions, but it's really just plain ignorance. They think they know, but they don't know about us, and so they're only behaving how what was taught to them, and what they see on media, and I'm happy I can break those ceilings in different ways. Now, how I'm breaking the ceiling, but how they, receive that moment, that's on them. And I told them, I said, "Look, am I out here beating you up or shooting you or whatever the case may be?" This is when I'm teaching at uni. I talk to my uni students like that. I said, "Are you sick? You touched my hand. Are you sick?" They said, "No." And I told them, I said, "Guys, be careful. Be careful of the media." I never said which media. I said, just be careful. But the way of thinking here is, I know it sounds like I'm getting off this topic, but the way of thinking is it's not a lot of analytical thinking, critical thinking. That's something I've noticed that they think they have it, but it's like it's Chinese based, I guess you could say. But they lack critical thinking skills. That's something that's really constant. They can't they see somebody black and they think, oh, he's from Africa. I'm like, no, I'm from America. I got nothing against Africa, but I'm a descendant of African American African race. So it's a lot of it is just plain ignorance. And even those I met those who are pretty competent in their intelligence, but you can hear it. You can hear the ignorance. It's not even talking about the vernacular, the way they talk, but the way they express themselves about stuff. They only, it's like they're repeating what they heard or repeating what they read or repeating what they think they know. And so it's like okay, they really don't know, and a lot of them never left the country. So I'm like being me, I'm the first encounter with an African American, and so it's been positive to say the least. But as far as the discrimination and just the stigma of me being black, I went through that in different ways. I'm trying to think of examples. But I would just say I would say when my time when I was at the training center, they will compare teachers. Oh, he's that. So he's not like these blonde hair, blue eyed people over here. And they always kept that in their mind because the whitewash, they praise white, they love white, love it. Like I give you a little small example. One time, one of my friends, he's a good friend of mine, but from South Africa, and he was a very generous guy. He brought some food in to share it with the work group. Man, you would thought they treated him like he was Christ, man, like he was doing some miracles, and it was, oh wow, oh my God, oh wow. And I'm sitting there like, damn, he's just sharing food. Like I don't get it. And part of it, he speaks Chinese. I mean, he's a great guy. I'm not talking bad about it, but he's a great guy. And so one day I didn't copy him, but one day I did that. I was at that point I was used to everybody, and everybody knew who I was. And some were very selective, like, oh, I don't know, no. So they watched I offered some food to them. They watched their friend eat the food from me. So it's like, okay, they get the approval. He gets the approval because she liked it. Then they jump in. So anything like this, they don't jump in. They wait for somebody's reaction. I see it a lot too during the pandemic, where a lot of the IEs, the aunties or the grandmas, as they call them, like they'll walk with the grandbabies. And during that time, the mask thing was so prevalent to the point that even if I was walking down the street, people will cross over. I mean, deliberately cross over, and it's just it was madness. I got so many stories, but I don't want to go keep it negative, but it's so many little things like that. But they seem like a white foreigner. It's not. They don't treat them the same. They kind of get them the benefit of the doubt. And I remember having a conversation with one of the girls I knew. She wasn't my student, but she was a postgraduate student. And I told her straight up, I said, these folks, some of these folks don't care about you. She said, I know. I mean, they really don't. And I ran into people who look like me. We're a little better teachers. We put more soul. We love people, and some people just here straight up for the cash. I mean, I like money too, but I'm not. I'm here to make sure these kids or adults get the best of me. But I don't care about you. I mean, I've been around people who look different from me, and I heard conversations, and I was just sitting there like really dumbfounded. Like I said, wow, some of them really act entitled. They really think, stuff don't smell. I was just sitting there like.
Let me ask this though, bro. Let me ask this, right? Mm-hmm. So,
please.
All right. Would you say overall, right, you are enjoying your time in China?
Yes, I am. Overall, I am. Overall.
Okay.
But I don't like other stuff, you know, that stuff, you know. But yeah,
Tell
I'm
me
sorry.
5 things you like about living in China, because brother, I'm finding it very hard to find the appeal of China so far, bro. I feel like these people are so anti-black to their bone. There's no
Hmm.
saving Chinese people, as to the white worship there is strong, and it makes no sense, bro. These Chinese people were oppressed by white people. White people exploited them via Hong Kong, the Opium Wars, demeaned them, made racist jokes about them throughout the West. Black people never did that. How are we more hated than white people to Chinese people? That makes no sense.
So
How
yeah,
are black people more hated than white people in China? So, brother, tell me 5 things you like about living in China.
definitely cost of living. Cost of living is a little different. I'm not as stressed as I was in America with cost of living, like finances and things. Things are cheap, pretty cheap here. Um, you can, as far as like opportunities, like business, there are like plenty of business opportunities out here. Um, I do like the women. They look nice. You know, I do like them in that sense. I'm not praising them, anything like that. But no, but it's the sites are pretty epic, depending on where you go. Because I used to be in Zhangjiajie, that was epic. I love the mountains and all that. The sites, and then I like the fact that they do preserve their culture. I kind of admire that in a sense, but I don't agree with the stigma of being black. But again, like I said earlier, it's you have to. It depends on where you live in China. It depends on who you deal with, because it's really hard. And I know there is the stigma of us there, but I try not to treat that. And for me, I try not to go about it like that in every situation. That's what, because I found myself, there was times where I was like getting really sensitive to that, and I made it a race thing, you know, all the time. And then I had to really pray about it and say, okay, it's not entirely race, it's just curiosity, it's ignorance. And I had to be a little forgiving. You know, I have to be forgiving, to say the least. And it's hard. It's really hard, because you have to discern. I have to know which one is which. And a lot of times it's not always race. It's just I don't know you, so I'm going to treat you like this. My behavior is going to be, you know, discriminating. Um, so I really just try to keep that in mind. I'm not advocating people hating on my culture, but I don't also think it's not always about hate. I think it's just they're different, and they've been so whitewashed to think a certain way. That's really, I think. But those are some of the few things earlier that I like about it. But that's where I'm at right now.
Okay, awesome, bro. Awesome. Um, tell me things you really don't like. And you've mentioned some previously. Could you give us 2 more things that you don't like about living in China, or is that all you want to mention?
That's really it. Yeah, I'm not really. Yeah, because it's a, you know, I'm also talking about a culture. So some of the things that I go through that I don't like is culture based. You know, it's petty too. Like I'll give you a little example of the spitting. They spit everywhere. The hacking, the spit to it. I see that all the time. It's disgusting. When I'm in a venue eating or something like that, I've seen it happen at Starbucks. I go to Starbucks a lot. I see people spit in Starbucks.
What? What's going on,
Yeah,
bro?
it's a culture thing. No, no lie,
Is that
brother. I see,
is that is that both the men and the women?
particularly the men. The men. I see it. I was talking. I remember I was in Changsha. I was with my friend. She was from South Africa. We were talking, and right behind her, a few feet, dude spitting on the floor in Starbucks. I went to the manager. They would have. they would call the damn the guards and everybody. But that's that behavior. You know, a lot of these people come from villages and they bring those sort of behaviors to there. And one thing about China, I mean, it's bad sometimes. It seems they're developing very fast to the point that many of the people can't even keep up with the development. So they bring in their, no offense to people who live on farms or rural areas, but they're bringing those mannerisms to this environment. I mean, I seen one lady. I happened to be on my e-bike, and I was parking it. This lady, she looked at me. I looked at her, old woman, looked at me, and she just started squatting, pulled her dressed up, and took a dunk right in the middle of the road. Actually, on the sidewalk.
What, bruv?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, bruv.
Yeah.
What, bruv? In China, and
China.
these people, and they're out there calling us black people uncivilized, black people this, black people that, and they're doing that in China. Nah, bruv, what's going on, man?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. So it's yeah, I seen it. I seen, you know, I seen, like, when I was at the training center, I seen moms, you know, taking the kids for a quick pee, and they're doing their business near the area, you know, and I'm looking like, holy cow, this is so uncivilized, you know. And but again, the place is developing so fast, they you know, they can't even keep up with how to behave, you know, and things of that nature. So it's again, it's a culture thing, you know. That's one thing I try to be really I'll say tolerant. I won't say respectful. I'll say tolerant to. It's a culture thing.
Flipping heck! Wow. Okay. But I also heard that they fart as well in public, like they without anyone's consent. Is that true?
Yeah, yeah. I don't. It doesn't happen a whole lot, but I have seen it happen or heard it happen, I should say. And yeah, it's pretty gross, man. I mean, but again, I was saying again, it really depends on where you go, because I'm in a city where, you know, they got the tiers. So Changsha is, I don't know why they call it tier one, but I guess because they really upgraded, they got a subway and train system and things of that nature. So, but the people, they're pretty progressive, but they still behave in a certain way, some of them. But if you went to the Shanghai, it's like you won't see that. You know, it's like Shanghai is like, it's close, because I went when I was in the military. I had a chance to go to Hong Kong before the marriage of British and China was broken apart. So I seen what that marriage was like, and it was beautiful. You know, like so Shanghai kind of reminded me of Hong Kong a bit. And I've been to Guangzhou. That's another big tier city. But where I was at, I really didn't get into the city until I met up with some friends. She took me around, but I didn't have enough time to really absorb it. But it all depends on where you go. But those are sort of like quasi-sophisticated places where you won't see those spitting as much and things like that. From my experience, I should say.
Oh, hold on, bro. I've got a super chat here. Shout out to Superstar Mod, Mr. Demswood, for the $199 super chat. Appreciate you, bro. Japanese women are for me. Colossal no for China. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So I got a question for you, brother. Right. So you're having a great time so far, and it's about building wealth. So before going to the woman's part, brother, which is coming very soon. Can passport bros and black men make big money in China? Business, working big jobs in China, or are we oppressed in China from reaching that upper echelon of wealth, brother?
Okay, good question. I'm not like real familiar with the businesses here. I would say yes, but the key is you have to speak the lingo. You have to speak the language. And I met a few Africans here who speak the language in particular, and they're doing pretty good. I'm not saying like they're millionaires per se, but they're doing pretty good. And it's all about connecting with that language. That language is key. You have to know that language, and then you be in the arena, you know, fellowship with them in different ways. But you can make something. It's good. It's a lot of business opportunities here, depending on what you're trying to get into. But the language, that's the key. You got to know that language. I speak a little bit, but I'm not fluent at all. But I noticed when I saw people look like me and they spoke it, some opportunities came. They're doing a little better. But there, again, going back, there is still the stigma of us. But again, it depends on where you are, which city, which part of China are you? It all depends. I'm just happen to be, my experience happened to be in the sort of lower tier cities. So I'm speaking from a lower tier city perspective. Somebody who's probably in Guangzhou, Beijing, Shanghai might tell you something different. And that's what I'm saying. It all depends where you are. And it's a big country, but those are the main three: Shanghai, Beijing, and Guangzhou. And Guangzhou's a lot of us there, a lot of us. And I believe even Beijing, from what I've been told. Like, if you just depends on where you are and the language. You got to know the language. Native tongue changes everything.
So you're saying, brother, in Guangdong, a lot of brothers there live there in Guangdong, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah, a lot of.
They're making big money and very successful.
I wouldn't say they're making big money and successful, but I know there's a lot of, they do have businesses out there. That part I do know. There's a lot of brothers with businesses. I don't know them per se, but there's a high population of people that look like us out there, and they're doing stuff.
Okay, interesting. Have you come across brothers that are doing very well money-wise in China?
Not really. Not really. I'm trying to think of back. It's funny. My time here in China, when I came to running into people that look like me, it's a bit different. I was a little surprised. I do have friends that look like, female friends and things like that, but when I ran into some brothers, it's a little different. I don't know if it's because of interest and things like that, but I don't know. Foreigners out here, depending on who you go into, but I know you're particularly talking about brothers. The interest, I think there's certain things they're interested in, and I guess I'm not interested in. So there's never really like a connection per se, a brotherhood or some love and things like that nature. So I can't really speak on that. So I don't really know.
Okay, fair enough, bro. So now let's move on to the woman, brother. I want to know more about your dating life. Okay, bro.
Okay.
And the dating life of an average brother in China. So, but I'm gonna ask you, brother, a very important question, bro. Okay, brother. This question is probably the most important question in the history of mankind, bro. Brother, this question can solve world wars. This question can, this question, bro, can enable a brother to walk on water like Jesus Christ did in the Bible. Brother, this question can turn, water into wine. Brother, this question can split apart a sea into two parts and allow us to walk through to the other end, like in the Bible, bro. It's a very important, powerful question, brother. The question I have for you, brother, is: are Chinese women in China checking heavy for brothers, brother?
Okay. Wow. That I don't date a whole lot here, but I would say this: it all depends again where you go. I've been to Guangzhou, I mentioned earlier. I've heard they like brothers out there, but when I went, and I'm not, and let me give you some background again who I am. I don't go to clubs. I'm not a drinker or a smoker or anything like that. But I do go to cafes a lot, coffee shops. I don't, as far as checking brothers, they're curious as to, like, more in terms of just being friends. They want to be like friends with you. God, I don't want to put words in their mouth, but when I'm around them, and I'm speaking from spirit now, when I'm concerned, they're very curious, but they're afraid to cross that line. They're deferred to their own kind, or a tall European dude or something like that. But I think a lot of them are curious, but they're they either afraid and because they like don't do that, don't bring one of them with us, that kind of thing. I think they are curious, but I always get that sense they want to know more, but they're afraid, as I say, cross the street. They're afraid to cross that street, and because of parents, the culture, they'll say, don't date black men, don't date. It's funny. There's a video recently that we have WeChat over here, and then we have a thing called Channel for WeChat. It's kind of like TikTok in a sense, but this African brother, he has a biracial child and beautiful wife, everything, and he put up posts with him and his family, and man, a lot of the stuff was in Mandarin, so I was trying to translate what people were saying, but man, my heart went out to him, man. But he's a strong dude, like he doesn't really care, but he said, this is what I go through here. And there were a lot of people said a lot of bad things about his kid, about him. They said, go back to your country. I told him, hey, my prayers are to you, that kind of thing. But it's really disheartening. But I really believe it's all based on ignorance. I don't even think it's hatred. I think it's just what they teach them or what they see in media. That's where a lot of this stuff comes from. I don't even think it's like a real hatred. Like I hate black people. Like I don't.
But think about it, bro.
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, there comes a point where you're in your early 20s, you're in your mid 20s, and at a point where, to be honest, I think we throw around. No shot to you, brother. But this is as an overall statement to the whole world, right? Certain individuals will just blame on ignorance. I think at a certain age, if you're an adult, you have a functioning brain, right? Okay. Yeah. For you to do your own research or for you to not judge one group of people as a whole. Okay, bro? I mean, they're doing that on WeChat. They're saying some crazy things about black people, right? I think it's racism, bro. It's the hatred of dark skin, in my opinion, bro. They hate black skin, they hate dark skin. That's why a bunch of them look like pale white people. It makes no sense, brother. It really doesn't. So your personal dating life in China right now, are you getting women? Do you feel like women check for you, or women are ignoring you, brother? And keep it stacked, bro.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. A little bit of no, it's okay. I've been with some. I had experience with one since I've been here. I dated a few at the time, but it goes back to the culture. Excuse me. One girl I dated probably a couple of years ago. So she liked me, but she said her grandparents wouldn't accept it. And I was like, really? She said they wouldn't accept it. She said, you're a nice guy, I like you, but they wouldn't accept it. So she's, respecting her roots, so. And I had one experience, and I know this is PG, but she was great. I'll say that much. But I don't like, I look around and it's not, I ran into some like Chinese Christians out here. They're a little different too, but no, I haven't really, I really haven't had like a huge dating life, so to speak, here. Because when I came here again, I came September 2019. So this is months before the whole world changed. And so those 3 years, not using it as an excuse, but it did play a part. The dating wasn't like a freaking thing. We were pretty much quarantined for a certain amount of time period. And then you got to deal with the residual effects of, are these foreigners, are they sick? Or do they have the COVID? And, you deal with all the paranoia. So my dating scene was pretty limited. And a lot of it, I don't date like that. But those are my only couple experiences I've had since I've been here. Again, I was here during pandemic. What's that? I'm sorry.
So would you say, bro, overall, this is all right, brother. Like Chinese women just don't, they're just not checking for us black men, and that's all right, brother. I ain't personally checking for Chinese chicks in general. They're not in my they're not my interest. I'll keep it a stat, bro. I've heard a lot of things about them that just put me off Chinese women. But in your opinion, brother, right? You know,
Mhm.
from what you see as a overall observation, would you say the majority of Chinese women or a good amount of Chinese women just don't like black men because they're racist, they're ignorant, they don't like dark skin? It is what it is, bro. I think just be real with me, brother. Be real, please.
Yeah, no, I am. I am. I would say, yeah, I would say majority of them, but I don't want to say it's because of black skin. I don't want to say it entirely because of that. That I don't want to say because it's not. Again, and please don't think I'm defending. It's not always about the skin. It's just I mean a homogenous. Society is very homogenous. So you're dealing with that component of it all too. They raised around mommy and daddy that looks like them, talk like them. So they go to what's essential, to them. But it's not. Some of it is this, but it's not always this. Sometimes they just say, I'm not interested. And I was like, okay, cool. And, move on. But that's just my opinion.
So let me ask this, brother, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What about other women there in China that are not Chinese, brother? How have they been towards you as a brother? Maybe Japanese women, maybe South Korean women, maybe Russian women, maybe women from other countries in Africa. Do you come across other ethnic groups of women? And are those women, have they shown you love? Do they show brothers love? And if so, which ethnicity that are not Japanese show you love in China?
I did recently went on not recently, a few years ago, I did go on a date with a girl from Africa. That yeah, she showed me love. She did. She showed me love. She was cool. We she was dealing with some stuff, and we just didn't mix well. It was like oil and water. Um, I know a sister from the States, and she's a good friend of mine. But then I met some other the South Africans and British, but I didn't date them per se. We, kind of went out, hung out, but they've been pretty good, but nothing, like, more further than a date per se. Yeah.
Okay. So, brother, from what I get from you, brother, I think you're kind of like you're not interested in dating at the moment. You're just worried about making money, obviously getting closer to God, and that's all right, brother. I'm guessing dating isn't your priority right now in China. Is that a fair assessment, bro?
Yeah, it's a fair assessment. Yeah, because I'm trying to because I'm in the middle now of wondering whether or not I'm going to transition out of China or stay here. So again, I'm like, yeah, I'm just trying to listen to God, more about what I do. I don't want to compromise myself and do something because I'm either lonely or feel like I need this and that kind of thing. But yeah, that's kind of where my focus is at work and just get me together. Because going back again, those few years since I've been here, those are rough, man. Those are rough. And not saying you guys didn't experience anything at all, but those are really rough years mentally. Just quarantining, being sort of ostracized in certain areas. That's pretty tough, and with that kind of really tainted my experience being here. And to be perfectly honest, there was a time where I really was developing hatred because of going through that. But I'm good now. Just that was a really tough period. So that kind of put a stain on my experience. But when I first came to China, it was like a lot of love. People were really cool, taking pictures, but when that pandemic took place, that changed everything.
Wow, wow. I know during the pandemic, right? I saw on social media that they were throwing out black people from their houses, blaming the virus on black people, brother, which is absurd. Absolutely absurd, bro. I mean, that for me was the
Yeah.
the line that they crossed, bro. I couldn't believe it, brother. You were there during that time. How did that make you feel, brother? Were you affected by that? Were your friends affected by
Yeah,
that?
it was rough. Something I did. I remember it happened a lot in Guangzhou. They were really just moving out Africans, and I heard various reasons. They said some people were there because they were illegal, so they took advantage of the time of the COVID to kind of move people out. But they were moving American brothers, British brothers. It was like, I was like, holy cow! There's even videos where this woman is walking with her friend. Her friend was black, female. She was denied going into certain places because she was black. And the lady was her friend, a white friend, was speaking to them in Chinese. Like, why would you deny my friend? You know, it was that was a crazy period, man. But yeah, thinking back at it just makes you depressed because it was rough. That was really rough. Didn't expect to go there. And on top of that, I was I was promoted to like a manager of teachers during my time in Changsha, going through that, and it was rough. I didn't experience some of the stuff they experienced in Guangzhou, but it was, yeah, I had my moments. I had a few moments there. So.
Man, you know, bruv, and it came from that country, and they're blaming brothers for that. That's wild, man. I think after that, I just thought like, nah, bruv, I have no interest in China. Over 1 billion people, big country, no interest, absolutely no interest. I think if you're interested in East Asia, Japan and South Korea probably be the best place for brothers. So before I open up the phone lines, brother, we got 15 more minutes here of chit chatter. Sorry. Go on, bro.
No, I was like, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
So, so you said you're thinking of maybe transitioning out, brother. And is one of the countries you're thinking of going to Japan or South Korea?
Yeah, Japan. I've been to Japan too years ago in the military, but yeah, that's like an interest for me. I loved it out there. Loved it. Not to say for the dating, just but the culture. I loved it. That was my first time. Was this back in 2004, I guess, and I loved it. It was just the people were just so friendly, so nice, and very, very respectful people when it comes to working and the discipline. I admired that a lot. It was great. It was great. Had a great time. So I was thinking about South Korea as well. Still, again, just praying about everything. Because wherever I go next, I want it to be home. I don't want to be moving no more. No more moving. Yeah, I need a home. Just even I got home.
And hopefully, brother, you find a good woman, brother. I'm guessing you're interested in Asian women.
Oh man, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to keep it, but no, I love them, man. They're great, man. They just, yeah. I'll give you a little story. It's an old story, but when I was in Japan, I went on a date with a Japanese woman, and I don't have a lot of play. I'm not, I'm just not like that kind of dude, but that was one of the easiest dates I've ever had in my life. Like, I remember leaving that date like, wow, I didn't have to work. I didn't, because I've dated, in America, and I won't speak on them, but
you are allowed to take shots at American women, brother. Trust me, I feel the same way as you, brother. Take shots at them if you want to.
It's like I never had to work, like she'd say something, I'll say something. It wasn't like cerebral, games of, okay, I got you, I'm stronger than you now, or you got me, you're stronger than me. It was just like, we're just flowing, it was great. I had a great time. It was a simple date. I was like, oh man, this is great. The only problem was like, I think I was like the rebound guy per se, because she was dating a Jamaican brother at the time, and she really loved him, and I said, why'd you leave him the first time? Oh, he hit me. I said, so why are you going back? She said, I love him. And I was like, all right, cool, do your thing. And that was one of my dates. Then I went on the second one with a little older Japanese woman, but she was a little more privy to Westerners. Like, she liked authority, she liked rank. At that time, I was just an E3, took her out, and she said, oh, I like captains. And I'm thinking to myself, oh man, you like all that. She wants the wealth, she wants that stuff. But yeah, those are like only two experiences while I was dating in the past. But I remember that first day. It was just like the first one. It was so easy. Like it was like like wow. I was like, I couldn't believe how I've been, dated in the West, and so I always leave there exhausted, feeling like, oh God, my mind is like exhausted because I feel like I'm being interrogated or measured or something, but that was years ago.
Were you in Okinawa in Japan? I'm guessing.
I was in hope nobody gets on me by my pronunciation. I don't speak Japanese, but Yokosuka Chuo. I was at the naval base.
I know that place. Okay. You said it correctly, brother. Okay. Interesting. So were you married to an Asian woman before your divorce, or was it a sister?
Sister. It was a sister.
Okay. Okay. So what made you now into the Asian why you now into Asian women, brother? What is it about Asian women that have taken them, that they've taken you away from the sisters, brother? Because, bro, hold on, brother.
Well,
before I answer, brother, because the pro black dudes, and they ain't gonna like that, bro. You left the sisters for an Asian girl. Umar Johnson.
No. It's no. I do like sisters, but like after my marriage, I'm not saying my marriage was like hell or anything like that, but it was. I just wanted to try something different, and even though when I was in Japan years ago, it was just interesting. Like I said, wow, like this is different. Like this is a different kind of female, but I'm curious. Like I like them. They act like a female. I like that kind of stuff. So so I said, "What, Johnson?"
Bro, you telling me that? Bro, you saying that sisters don't like females, bro? Where's Umar Johnson? Like, someone get his number. Where's he at? Tell him we live right now. Where's Umar Johnson?
It's just like they've been taught a certain way. Some of them been taught a certain way to do things, and but that's a topic for another day. But I do like Asian women. I don't know. They're very exotic, and God, it's beautiful. I don't know. I don't know how to describe them. They're very beautiful women to a degree. I just like and I'm an artist, so as an artist, I do a lot of sketching and things like that. So I watch people all the time. So as an artist, it's like when I see, even here in China, when I see the differences as an artist too. I mean, yeah, I'm a man. I like what I see, but I like, I don't know. It's just that they're so different. If I meet somebody from Changsha, they're different from somebody from Zhangjiajie. It's like distinctions. It's beautiful. And I hate when people say they all look alike. I said, they do not all look alike. They're very different. Whether Japan, any part of Asia, they're different from each other. So I can't really put it into words, but it just is a beauty. I love them. They're great.
Okay, brother. So you're a Christian, brother. I'm assuming you want a Christian wife or Christian girlfriend, brother. You said you met Christian Chinese woman. Did you? Shouldn't you be? I mean, I'm sure Christian Chinese women should be giving you play, right? Because the essence of Christianity is you're a Christian man, similar value system. So how have you dealt with Christian Japanese women, brother? Are you considering them, bro? Break it down. Sorry, brother. Hold on. So Christian Chinese woman. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. It's funny you mentioned that because I thought it was gonna be like that too, and I went on fellowship with a few of them, and I was just kind of getting the lay of the land, but they, it's funny when they're hungry for the word of God, but they don't. They're still Chinese, if that makes sense. Like they act like Chinese, and I told them, I said, look, when you in the body of Christ, it's no longer black, it's no longer white, it's no longer Chinese. You're a child of God. And they were just like, oh, it's amazing. No, I don't mean to make fun of them, but they was really shocked. And I said, yeah, we're under one body. We look different on the surface, but we're spirits, we're spirit creatures, so they're learning, but they don't understand the full gist. And I'm trying to be respectful to them, but they don't understand the full gist. So in essence, they were still acting like Chinese. I was like, oh, okay. Because that's what they know. That's what's essential. to them. Yeah, somebody laughing. Yeah, it's crazy, you know. But I did meet some Chinese Christians who are a little more concerned. Usually they're males, and I meet them, but the females, I haven't had any running with them too much. But usually the males, they sound and they understand it, but they still act Chinese. I don't know how to. That's the only way I can describe it. I say, wait, you Christian or Chinese? I'm Chinese man, Christian. No. You're Christian. That should trump who you are, you know, who you are on surface and where you're from. All the other stuff don't matter. But we're here in China, so they behave and carry themselves like Chinese people. But they say, I'm so Christian. You can't do one or the other. You got to choose one. You know, so they didn't kind of get that, and I never went back to the group again. So let's say that much. You know, I wasn't trying to teach anything, I was trying to enlighten their minds a bit. They're still growing. They're baby Christians. Not this. I'm not saying this to insult them. They're babies.
Okay, but on that note of religion, right? Obviously, China is an atheist society by large, right? Are Christians targeted there in China, brother? Is there animosity towards Christianity or religion there in general, brother? Did they hassle you for being a Christian?
Nobody. I'm sorry. No one hassled me or anything. They just, like, you know, depending on where I go to work, they say you can't talk about this and that, and I say okay, but I still talk about it. Not like outwardly, but I you know, God talks through me, and He has a way of making His presence known. So I still let it happen. But with no one, I haven't seen anybody been targeted in the cities I've been in or lived in. But again, it all depends on where you go. But there was a case, but this was years before I came to China, that there were Christian, Chinese Christians were being sent to jail and things of that nature. Yeah, but a lot of my friends kind of gave me intel on that. They said, be careful. But for some reason, I don't know, maybe I'm just protected, you know, from the Lord. And I'll bring them up. They'll ask me, what do you believe in? I said, I believe in God. You know, I believe in Jesus Christ. I say it loud and proud. And then they say, well, can we talk about it more? And I said, well, the reason why I can't talk about it is because in my contract, and I've been, you know, they didn't understand, you know, but if they ask me a question about it, I'll answer it, you know, but yeah, they don't get targeted like that. It's not like, oh, he's a Hebrew, Jesus, get him. You know, it's not like that. No. But if I was to, let's say, for example, I make a lesson on Christianity, yeah, it's pretty obviously to see what happened. They'll probably tell me, hey, tame that down. We don't do that here. They don't want you to talk about politics either. So,
but white worship, but white worship is okay. Put white people on TV. Put white people on posters. We want more white people to teach us. Blonde hair, blue eyes. That's okay. The white worship is okay. You can worship white people. That's okay. But if you talk about worshiping God, that's a problem. Something ain't right there, bro. China, bruv. I'm not going there anytime soon, bro. The mentality's off. The white worship is off the charts. The anti-blackness is off the charts too. I'm in the UK. I've seen some Chinese people give me the worst dirty look from afar when I walk past them. I'm like, what are you looking at, bruv?
Wow.
What are you looking at? Wow. You know, it's crazy, bruv. White man goes past them, big smile on their face. That's some insane hatred, bro. Insane hatred. I don't know what they have against us, but I'm not letting that fly, bruv. You like Chinese food? You eat Chinese food? You like it?
Do I like?
Yeah.
Do I like Chinese food?
Yes.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Because it's spicy, and again, I'm in a city where it's very food is very spicy. They use that sort of that Sichuan spice and stuff. It's super spicy. I mean, I know we're keeping it PG, but I'll just say it's rough. You know, we got to do certain things, and so I stay away from it because they use a lot of oil. There's certain I don't like the oil they use to cook here, but for the most part, I do eat a lot of they call it kao rou. It's like barbecue. I'm sure you're familiar with Bry's and things like that, but they cook a lot of like lamb and chicken. I eat that. I like that kind of stuff. What's that? Mi fan, that's rice. Chow fan. I like fried rice, things of that nature. Some sushi, they even sell sushi here. Sometimes I eat that. But yeah, no, I'm more of a coffee drinker. I drink more coffee than I have been in the past. But yeah, the food is good. It's good. Depends on what you get. In my opinion, it just depends. Some of it is spicy. It is super spicy.
Awesome. Okay, let's open up the phone lines, brother. Get questions to you, bro.
Ooh.
Amazing live stream so far. Thank you, brother, so far for the breakdown. Brothers, as you know, I will be teaching Python, brothers, so make sure you go and join my upcoming Python course. Go on the Patreon, look for the tier called Python Classes September 2023. I'm looking forward to teaching you, brothers, man. Let's get it cracking, okay? So go and check out my upcoming Python class and course. Don't miss out on it. So let's open up the phone lines and let's ask his brother some questions about his time and life currently in the land of anti-blackness, China. Okay.
Oh man.
So okay, awesome. So amazing stream so far. Thank you, bro. Do you feel safe as a black man, bro? I mean, brother, there's been a time when I had a different stream before where a brother said, Ramel, I believe, said that if you're a brother talking to a Chinese woman or you approach her, Chinese guys start approaching you. Sorry, Chinese guys start surrounding both of y'all speaking. That's some weird stuff, bro. Is that true?
Yeah, man. My friend and I, he's Canadian. He's a white guy, Canadian, but that sometimes like wherever we go, venues where women is like, wow, can we sit near you? And I said, yeah, sure. It's free. But when we start talking to them, yeah, he's right. Like sometimes you get those guys, I could act it out. It's the funniest thing, and I'm gonna say something. I think I told you before when we first met. It's like a dog. And I don't like calling people dogs, but that I like to compare things. And I watch dogs, how they move, how they sniff, and they walk away. It's almost similar. Watching like, oh, you're trying to talk to one of my kind, so I'm gonna feel you out, and I'm gonna show my masculinity. I'm gonna kind of be around. It's very predictable because they're so insecure about their masculinity compared to brothers. So, and I look and I laugh and I'm like, get out of here, man. Like, what are you doing? They're like, Shema. They'll kind of they'll chew on this thing. It's like, I don't want to call it chewing tobacco, but it's something, I can't remember what it's called. And they kind of stand around you and, it's stupid, and I'm looking at them like, you okay? Like, you're all right. And they're like, huh, Shema. And then they kind of, again, these are the places that I've been to. I can't say it's like that everywhere. I've met, women where I didn't have that problem sometimes, but every once in a while you get the guys that kind of just hover a little bit just to see what you're talking about, just to hear what's going on, and then they see them laughing. They're kind of like, sometimes give you the little side eye. And then every once in a while, like I had a friend recently, she was staying with me, she's Chinese. And we walked around, people just curious. They was like, oh, your friend is very black. Like it was like more of innocence. They were just like, oh, they're pointing at me and my friend, they thought we were together. I said, no, we're just friends. And so you do get that kind of reaction too. But it's crazy though, and the men. Not say all the guys here are bad, but they're very insecure. They are, respectfully speaking, they're very insecure.
Okay, wow. But are you safe there? Is it a safe country? Do you feel safe as a black man in China, walking around at night, doing your own things by yourself? You feel safe, bro? No one's gonna attack you for being black. No
one attacks me. No. I've been I think the latest I've been out was probably 3 a.m. No one attacked me. No one. I mean, it's just I had a light situation where I was in Juntaji. I was at Starbucks, and three men walked in Starbucks, and they saw me. Yeah, I was sitting in the corner, just drawing, minding my own business. So they decided to kind of interact with me, but they were drunk, and I don't. When I get around people drunk, I had my earbuds in my ears, and they were let's just say they were getting a little close. They would get curious, but for me, I see three men coming at me. It puts my I get ready, like for anything. So I have my earbuds like this, and they're coming close to me. So I said, okay, you all right? He said, oh, my friend wants to take a picture with me. So they start putting their arms around me. It smelled like alcohol, and they were so stink and drunk. And I said, hey, man, chill out. And he's like, I said, you too close, because they get in your personal space. They'll do that. It's just a cultural thing. But that day, I wasn't having it. And the managers are looking like, and they also passive aggressive here too. They're not very aggressive. Some can happen. They'll walk away from it in a sense, but no one helped me. I just kind of told them, hey, male, paja. So no pictures. That's get away from me. And then they eventually brushed off. And again, they was behaving like dogs, like a pack of dogs, and that's what I don't want to degrade them, but that's how it felt, like a pack of dogs just sniffing, barking, and then we tell them biz off, get the hell away from me. They leave, and that's their behaviors. Not all of them like that, but that's what I experienced since I've been here. Trying to think any other moments, but no one really like attacked me per se. But I did have this story's gonna make you laugh a little bit. I met this guy, and I was doing my work and stuff, doing my schoolwork in the coffee shop. This young man named Andrew, Chinese guy. And I could tell something was a little off because he was talking to me, and I think he had something going on upstairs. But I'm full of love. I don't mind talking to anybody. But so he's talking to me. He's asking me all these questions. Like, do you like Chinese food? I said, yeah, I do, man, I do. And he said, where are you from? I'm from America, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, where are you from? I'm from Russia. I said, huh? I said, you from Russia? He said, yeah, I'm from Russia. So the story gets a little crazy. So, I talked with him, I chit-chatted with him, and then I bounced. I was like, okay, see you around, Andrew. So went back same place. I see Andrew. Andrew's coming around. And this time I was so busy, I really needed to do some work. So I gave him like 5 minutes to talk with me. He was like, oh, hello, what you doing? I said, okay, yeah, doing good, man. Andrew, I got to do some work. So, I really need to do this. He said, okay. He didn't pick up on the social cues to leave. So he stayed right there, and he was trying to talk to me more. I said, hey, Andrew, chill out, man. Like, I got to do some work. He said, okay. So he went away, sat a few feet from me, maybe in a little cushion seat, but he's looking at me. As I'm working, I said, okay, this is getting weird. And so I moved to another location, so he wasn't in my perimeter, and he gets up and follows me all the way around the coffee shop. And I was like, oh, this is getting really weird. I said, hey, Andrew, I'm doing work. I can't talk to you right now. You gotta leave me alone. So he said, okay. So he sits behind me with his back face to me, and he's doing one of these numbers. And I'm like, oh God. I said, Andrew, I'm doing work. You gotta leave me alone. He's peeking at me. So he eventually left. I was like, okay, good. I'm safe. He can't. So the coffee place, no one was in there. It was just me. I'm working. And here comes Andrew. He comes back. The place is empty. I'm thinking he's going to sit somewhere really far. He walked around the whole place and right next to me. And I was like, what? Like, dude, like, come on, man. Like, I'm working. I can't do this. And I don't like to be angry, yelling at people and things like that, because I know I'm the foreigner, I'm the guest. But he was pissing me off, So then I left, and I didn't see him for a while. Then one time there was a new teacher. She came from the UK, and I'm showing her around the city, and she's like, hey, TK, there's somebody following us. I said, huh? And this was months later. Yeah. I was free. I was like, I haven't seen Andrew in a while. So he's following us in the mall. I didn't even know he was behind us. She said she saw him. And I was like, what? So we go to the drink place and he's standing right there. Oh, hey, how you doing? I said, and she said, who's this guy, TK? I was like, I'll tell you the story. I gave her the gist of what was going on. We left. We walked outside the mall. We sat near a bench. I thought I lost him. Here he comes. With her not talking, and he sits right there. And I said, Andrew, we're talking. I'm with my friend. I just want to talk to her. So one day he left. And then one day she was out about in the city by herself. And he started following her. And that's when I had to do something. I had to say something to him. So let's just say my words were pretty demanding. Like I said, hey, if you keep following me and my friends, I'm, essentially gonna F you up if you keep doing that. And he got it. And he left me alone. I'm trying to keep it PG, but he got it after that. Cause he, I'm not to talk about people who are autistic or special. I get it. But he had enough rationale to go to a place and sit down. I didn't understand why he didn't understand when I said leave me alone. So, but that was interesting. But that was the only time I felt really uncomfortable because some of the Chinese men here are a little socially awkward. I don't want to say they're autistic per se, but they're a little awkward in my opinion. But that's just a story.
Wow. Okay. Thanks for that story, brother. Why China is just a different world, man. Brothers, call in to ask questions to our guests, man. If you ain't gonna call in the next 10 minutes, we're gonna wrap it up early, and the guests will have a wonderful Sunday in China. So call in, brothers, if you have any questions about China. Awesome, brother. Awesome. So, do you see other black men with good-looking Chinese girls in China dating them?
From I haven't seen it in person, but I have seen it here. Like I seen them like on channels. They have like channels with nice looking Chinese women and athletic. Some of them built like sisters and things like that. Like I was like, where do they find them at? Because sometimes I'll try to reach out to them and I don't know how to get access to them. And I say, hey, where did you meet? And so yeah, I've seen it, but it's not. I don't see them a lot, but they're out here. But it all depends on which city you're in. And I'm in the cities. The tiers are pretty low, so they're still in that sort of like not open-minded thinking out here. But I'm sure if you go to Guangzhou, Shanghai, Beijing, you may see brothers out there with women, or even Nanjing. There's a few places you may see that, but it's not overpopulated with that sort of interracial dating. It's not like, unless they're white. So,
brother, have you come across slim, thick Chinese women in China? Slim, thick.
Man, I saw one in Changsha. I'll never forget it. I was in the elevator, and God, I thought she was a sister. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like I thought she was a sister. She was built. It wasn't fat. Like she was thick. Like had that farmer look, but feminine. And I looked at her. I had to tell her I couldn't speak Chinese at times. So I showed my phone. I said, "You're beautiful." She said, "Oh, she." But I was just like, I'd never seen that. That was just like, oh my God, she's built like a black woman, but not like sloppy by any means. Just well put. You could tell she works out, but she had that farmer, because a lot of the girls from the rural areas, you'll find they look a little more, I don't say husky, but they got a little more meat on them, where it's like they're not contaminated by the processed foods and all that. Because where I'm at currently in Nanchang, my experience from being in Changsha, Zhangjiajie, now Nanchang, the girls they're like, they're students obviously, but they look different. They're taller, they're a little more fuller in some areas, and I was like, what are they eating out here? Because I went to Zhangjiajie, they're shorter, more
so,
mountain.
Brother,
yeah, I'm sorry,
bro. Okay. So you ain't get a number, the thick chick? Because obviously, brother, I'll tell you this right. We know Chinese dudes don't date that kind of woman. They want skinny, stick thin Chinese chicks. So if a woman's built like that, right, wants some thickness to her, she more than likely will check for a brother. Brother, why did you get a number, brother? What happened, bro? You set up a date?
I have no game, but but no. That was when I first arrived here in China. That was right before COVID happened. So I was so fresh. I didn't know what was going on. But you're right. I should have got the number. But yeah, I was just dumbfounded by what I saw, man. I was like, wow, it's just so exotic looking. But but yeah, it just depends. Again, depends on where you are. You may run into that sort of anomaly per se. You'll see them, but I think in the more upper tier cities, the women a little more quality is a little better because they're more privy to Western culture, thinking the not necessarily I won't say thinking I'll say more the dietary, they're kind of taking care of their bodies, their health and things like that. Here it's like here and there. They're like here and there, some here, some there. But yeah, that's from my experience. What I've noticed.
Awesome, bro. Travel guy, can you turn your camera on in the background so I know you're not a troll? That'd be great. I can't see you, bro. I got to see your face. Shout out to Mr. Anomaly for you're confirmed. Thank you, bro. Thank you, Mr. Anomaly, for the $10 super chat. Would you recommend TFL Academy you went to for earning income abroad? Is their claim of guaranteed job placement legit? I'm considering the Japan or South Korea program. Over to you, bro.
Yeah, the International TEFL Academy. Yeah, I strongly recommend them. Yeah, it's called ITA. If you look up International TEFL Academy, yeah, you'll be guaranteed a job. They have a huge. You said you're trying to go to Japan and South Korea, particularly. Not to say Japan is on the list, but particularly South Korea. They have a strong relationship with them. In fact,
He's dropped off. All right, sorry about it, brothers. He'll be back. Okay. Okay. Now he's coming back. He's coming back. Hold on, bros. Are you back, Mr. TK? TK.
Can you hear me?
TK, you back? Ni hao. Ni hao. Ni hao. Ni hao.
Oh, okay, good. Ni hao. Ni hao.
Awesome, bro. Carry on, bro. He said South Korea and China have a good connection.
No, I was saying that South Korea and the International TEFL Academy have a really strong relationship when it comes to sending teachers abroad basically sending them to South Korea. So you're guaranteed to find work out there, even Japan too. But South Korea, because a lot of foreign teachers have been flooding to South Korea since actually towards the pandemic and now post-pandemic. So yeah, you'll be okay. Yeah, just get the TEFL. Yeah, you'll be fine. And they'll set you up with recruiters and you're good to go.
Awesome. Thank you, man. So let me bring in Mr. Travel Guy. Hold on there. Are you ready, Travel Guy? Let me bring you in, bro. Let's go. What's going on, Travel Guy?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Can you hear me?
Not that well. Can you get closer to your mic, please? Sukoshi, get closer to your mic, bro, please. Hello? Hello?
Hey, IP, can you hear me?
Much better, yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, quick question for you. First of all, thanks for the stream. I appreciate all the work that you do. But the question is, the more that I'm starting to learn about the Chinese, the more that I'm coming to the conclusion that they're kind of a monolith, not much in a bad way, but just kind of how I'm seeing things. Would you say that the Chinese treat you differently when you're isolated with them versus when they're in like a group setting?
That's a really good question. Yeah, because like I have like various experiences with that kind of thing. So I've been in Chinese people's houses and had dinner and things like that. Usually my coworkers. I had other occasions where I was with coworkers, but they're just speak Chinese and you kind of get left out. You know, I even noted that to them and they were just like, "Oh, we're so sorry. We didn't mean to be like that." I said, "No, it's cool. You're in your element, you know." But you do have that feeling of like left out. Like you never will be them. Even if I don't speak fluent, but even when I tried, it's kind of like oh, he's trying, and like, oh, he sounds so adorable because they're in their element, they're in their backyard. But it's never, it's not always to insult but they do like to. They're not, to a degree, they're not very welcoming in a sense. But I'm sure if I spoke the language more, I can, get down to, because I've seen other brothers who have speak the language, and they're a little more, they kind of, their guard is down. They just have a regular conversation. And I think it's the communicational component that separates us. But I have been in environments where they've been very pleasant to me, and treated me nice. It just depends.
It sounds like they're very cordial with you, but there's always like that underlying feeling that they make it known that you're a foreigner. Is that, would you say that's fair?
I would say that's very fair. Yeah, like you would never be Chinese. You can speak it's just pro-Chinese, like all the way. Like they'll have you, because I remember the first chat with IP, he had asked me about what they like about the brothers. They like people who have prestige. They like power, money. I'm just a teacher. Not to say I don't have any power, but they like athletes. They like superstars. They love prestige. But anybody like who's normal, it's like they treat you. They treat you like you're okay, but you're not, top dog or whatever like that. So, because I know there's a lot of NBA players that came to China recently. I think some of them still here. They treat them with so much love because they have a talent. They're rich. They're seen as gods in a sense. But yeah, everyday people, it's a little different. But again, it really just depends on where you are, who you meet, because they're not as they don't do everything the same. So I met some people really warm and sweet with me. They treated me very well. I met some people who just didn't have a clue how to make me feel welcome. So they're only doing what they know. And then sometimes it could be the race thing. I'm not sure. I'm not in their mind, but every situation is different.
I heard that, hold on, Traviga. I heard that from another person that this might be incorrect. That if you're really dark-skinned man, you get love. Like someone like ASAP Rocky is quite popular in China. Is that true, bro? Amongst the women, is that true? Because he's very dark-skinned and he has good teeth. Is that true, bro?
Again, I don't know if that's true. I mean, as far as my experience, people have been noting me. They say, TK, you got nice teeth and things of that nature. But if they see like a rapper, sometimes they're kind of like, oh, I don't know. Not that they're afraid, but they might think he's aggressive and things like that. Then I've seen some say, I like that. I like that kind of thing. Yeah. But again, and I keep saying this, but it depends on where I am. And the cities, like some cities are more privy to hip hop and things of that culture, so I'm in a city, they're privy to it, but it's more like Chinese hip hop and things like that. So I don't hear them talking a lot about our hip hop and things, so it just depends.
Okay, fair enough, bro. Go on, Chavigai. You got any more questions?
Yeah, it was kind of a follow-up question to my last one where have you experienced, and I don't know if you talked about this earlier, but have you experienced where maybe you're with a girl, you're dating a woman, and behind the scenes she's like all over you and she allows you to lead, but in a group setting, do you think that she's more that she'll follow the group rather than following your leadership if you're in a relationship?
Interesting. Well, the one I was dating at the time, she I don't know, like we kind of just I didn't sense that whole leadership side of things. I mean, we were just doing our thing, and as far as like her leading the way to the group, she didn't do that. She really gave me her undivided attention, and and she was going through a particular situation too. I won't talk about it, but I didn't sense that. I mean, she let me do my thing. I paid and things like that, but nothing. It was no like no conflict or anything like, oh, I should do this, you do that. We were pretty much on the same page when it came to going out and things like that, but nothing, I didn't sense any resistance or none of that.
Okay. Awesome. Any more questions, Travel Guy?
Yeah, if you allow. It sounds so. Just hearing you speak about it, it kind of sounds like the Chinese are more fixated on like prestige, power, respect. So as long as you have like the power, the status, the money, then they're going to be more inclined to accept you because they view you as I wouldn't say above them, but you get what I'm saying when I say that.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
Okay,
no, you. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, keep going.
no, yeah,
Sorry.
you're good. I was just gonna say it's kind of like a how just like people in Singapore and some parts of Korea, how they'll treat you based off of how much money you have and your the status that you have. Does that sound like correct?
Sounds correct, and a lot of it too. It's the skin thing, the money thing, but the level of language. Because like I know when my friends who are South African, like I said, his Chinese was pretty good, and he was also white. He was a cool guy, and everything. But they even judged him on that. They was like, wow, like he speaks our language, and And then if I try, it's like, well, you'll get it, TK, you'll get it, but you still get treated differently, because he was able to communicate with them and everything. But with me, it was like I was communicating that we spoke English majority of the time, but I could sense the differences. And obviously, he's been around them longer than I have, but I've noticed little things that I said, wow, they treat him like a god. And me, they treat me like, okay, not that I'm looking to be God, but they treat me differently. It's not bad, it's not malicious in any way, but okay, we're not on the same wavelength. They show it in their own way, but it is what it is.
Right. That makes sense because I think about how, at least from their point of view, how white men, white women have like this prestige and this power and this money outlook. So of course they're going to treat them a certain way because of that perceived status that they already come with. Versus they have a different level of outlook just based on the skin color, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, and to add to that, but like I think I told IP this was the first time I met him, but the dating, man. Oh God, I was in Janjia and talking to a teacher, and I said, "What's the chances of me finding somebody here?" She said, "Oh, my friend, my colleague found somebody." I said, "Do you got a picture of him?" I'm thinking, young guy, young or even a brother at that. He wasn't a brother. He looked old. The guy was an old white man, looked like someone's grandfather. And he was with this nice Chinese boy. I said, "This is the guy?" And she said, "Yeah." Because they see old whiteness as stability. He's got himself together. So again, if they don't defer to their own, they'll defer to that. My good friend, he's from Canada. He's 53 and he got himself a nice looking Chinese girl because he's old, he's middle aged, he's in shape and everything, but he's middle aged and they deferred to that. I met two other foreigners, one from Scotland, one from the UK. Same thing. I said, oh, okay. So anything black is looked at. They go by the media. They go by what they think. The media, how the media portrays us as being unstable and sexual predators. Well, not the sexual predators, but just hypersexual, I should say. Can't keep a job or that kind of thing. And what I found surprising, I don't want to say surprising. What was crazy the most is here in China, they date them, but those are the ones with the messed up problems. They had I never hear, I haven't heard any Chinese women say they had a problem dating, not marrying a brother. It was always white guys. They always had the messy marriages. That they're hard. I always see that always.
Yep.
And I never heard Chinese women say, I'm not marrying a black man. I haven't heard one like bad experience of a black and Chinese marriage. I never heard, but it's always the other ones. So it's interesting, man. It's a lot of contradictions, but I don't know.
Let them,
Hope I answered.
let them find out the hard way. I think a lot of women are starting to wake up that these white men that they dream about, they see on Disney,
Yep.
these so-called kings and princes, isn't really what is in reality. Let them find out the hard way, and I think some of them will find it the hard way, and we're gonna laugh at them, for not being smart and for
Yeah.
worshipping their skin color, because skin color doesn't define who you are. That's nonsense. Skin color and your intellectual capacity have no connection. Skin color is based on melanin and where you came from in geographical corners of the world. Let these chicks find out the hard way, but I don't feel sorry for them. Hold on. Shout out to Theo Waff in the building. What's going on, Theo? Shout out to Theo, who's currently running the conference in ATL right now. Brothers, man, if you you should have booked your tickets for the ATL conference, man. That's where a lot of brothers have come together, networking, IT, passport bro talk, amazing. International passport, we need you here in ATL, Atlanta. People be talking about you. Damn, man. IP Global, huh? IP Global. Awesome, man. Theo, salute to what you do, Theo. Salute to you, brother, man. Long live Theo. Wishing Theo many and plenty more years on planet Earth. More success to Theo, more life. Looking forward to seeing his beautiful wife in the future, and more success to Theo, man. I appreciate you, brother, and plenty of kids too, bro. I appreciate you, Theo, man. Thank you, bro. Awesome. All right, brothers, call in if you have any more questions for our guests. We got half an hour left. Travel guy, you any questions?
Yeah. I think it's more of a thought. I guess it is a question. It's like the more that I'm listening to you guys, it's like it sounds like because there's such a monolith, and because it's like more of a passive culture that, and I don't mean this in a bad way. It sounds like they're easily manipulated. So the thing that I feel as brothers that we're missing just in the world stage is our marketing isn't as good. We know personally that we're all not gangsters, drug dealers, and athletes and entertainers. But as far as the marketing side, it's not, that part of us isn't seen. And so I feel like if that was more, if that was, what am I looking for? If that was more shown to the world, or at least these different parts, that I feel like we wouldn't be getting such a, not even a bad rap, but just looked at a certain way because of the media. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, yeah. And I think also too, people, people, man, they know the information is out there, they know the truth is out there, but they choose not to embrace it because they want to stick to a certain way of thinking. And as I mentioned about the brother earlier from Africa, the biracial kid, I mean, I saw those comments, but he's a brilliant brother. Like, he was speaking Chinese. He said there are people out here that don't want us here in this country. But he went over the history. He showed people of color with their people doing prestigious things throughout history. But some people, they're so ignorant, yes, hateful. They know the information is there, but they refuse because of whatever personal demons they're dealing with, whatever it may be. A lot of it just comes from insecurity, plain insecurity. They see people with this color, they know it represents a lot of power, and they even in the damn DNA, you have a baby, racial baby, what color they come out, color, our colors is powerful, and they know if that happens more, oh God, they're gonna start looking like them. But the funny thing is, again, it goes back to China's hypocrite. And I'm gonna say that because they're down there in South Africa doing their thing down there, and there's a lot of Africans out there look like darker than us, all of us put together. They're doing their thing, so it's like a lot of like hypocrisy. Like, well, you don't want to be around us, but you're in the motherland doing your thing. Think no one notices it, and they're planting little things throughout the world. They think we don't notice what's going on, but they'll say no, not all of them, but they'll say no, we don't want blah blah blah. but you're taking resources. You're trading with us. So what's the deal? What's the fear about? And I think it all comes down to insecurity, playing the victim. What a victim.
Don't worry,
That's
bro,
what it comes
man.
down to.
Don't worry, man.
I'm sorry?
Our time will come up as brothers. The white man's had his time. Chinese man's having the time of his life right now. But our time as black men is gonna come, man, and we're gonna run this world. I know it sounds crazy. It sounds like it's gonna be impossible, but you don't know how the world's gonna change, man. No one can see the future, no one can tell the future. But what I do know is that everyone gets a shot. Okay. And we will get our shot. We will get our shot, bro. And when it's gonna be us that the Chinese are begging for our investment. It's gonna be us running pockets of China. It's gonna be us that's changing China. Don't worry, bro. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get, especially with this IT game we're on, this Passport Bros game. Like I'm telling brothers to have that conquest mentality, right? When you're a Passport Bro, conquer, be a man, dominate, right? Show them that you ain't here to play no games. Show them you're intellectual, build businesses, get power, be powerful. We're coming up, man. Don't worry, man. We're coming up, especially with this IT game we're on, the conferences we have in America, building brothers up, getting them into IT. The Passport Bro, the brothers, not even brothers in general, not even the Passport Bro, but normal brothers. We're gonna get there, man. Hold the faith, man. Hold the faith. Awesome. So can we get a new caller in? I'm sure there's some callers that want to ask some questions. Don't be shy. If you can't call in, hit your question in the PayPal or super chat. Okay. Get some questions, and we've got 25 minutes left until we wrap it up. The brother's super busy doing great things in China, but I'm super happy about your promotion, right? So how long did it take you to get promoted, brother, in a job? And would you say that to get promoted in China as a black man, is it hard? Is it actually fair? Is there a fair system? Do they judge you based on your performance? Like, tell us how you got promoted, brother, and how long it took you to get to your promotion.
Okay. Yeah. So currently I work at university. I'm teaching ESL, but I'm not promoted here, but I was promoted when I was working in a training center in Changsha. And I was the first black DOS. I was a director of studies. I was the first black DOS that they had in Changsha. And it took roughly a little over a year and a half. Nobody was holding me down, but there was still, no offense to them, there was still part of me that felt like things were being rushed. Like they was like, okay, TK, we gotta go here, we gotta go to Shanghai, we gotta go do this and do that. I said, okay. And I said, man, I need like another year under my belt so I can really grasp everything. But I still felt like I was honored to be there, to be a DOS at the time. And I remember talking with one of the Chinese colleagues. She was the first person that said, like, yeah, TK, you're the first black DOS we had here in Changsha. And I was like, thank you for saying that, because everybody else didn't want to say it. And I had that as a badge of honor, but I still felt like, being that the circumstances, and it was the schools, some schools were closing down and certain people leaving, and I think they needed a body in the slot. And I still felt like they rushed it, but at the same time, looking back at it, it was an honor to just be in that position, to be the first, and I took it very seriously. I always try to come with excellence, and I had a great team, of teachers. They were all Chinese females, but they were great, and they always like, I said, TK, you're a good boss. I said, no, you guys make me look good, but I'll do my part, but you all made me look good. But I still felt like a little, they rushed me into the position because they needed a body. But yeah, that was it was a great honor. That was one of my goals when I got to the training center, was to become a DOS. So, hello?
Sorry, I'm back. Awesome, bro. So, hold on for being.
Can you hear me?
That was. Yeah, can you hear me? Hello?
Oh, yeah, you popped out. It's like a screen left.
Sorry, bro. Keisha intercepted my internet waves. So, Yeah, brother. Well done for being the first brother to do that, whatever promotional position you got there, bro. So I'm guessing you got promoted by Chinese people. They promoted you. Chinese people themselves promoted you.
Yes, yes and no. Part of it, because much of the staff were foreigners, but majority of them were Chinese, and I was loved. You know, like when I started catching on to teaching, and a lot of students liked my classes, the parents, the people we call the PAs, they're the progress advisors. They deal with the parents, but they all love my performance, and everybody was like, without a doubt, TK's next in line. You know, and I was like, wow, it was an honor. You know, I was like, because I just caught on to things really quick. It was like they never seen anybody catch on that fast, and I told them the key is God, and also I like kids. You know, I want to be a dad, so like I always treated my students like they were my own. That's how I treated them, and they felt it. They knew they were loved, and if I had to discipline them, I disciplined them accordingly. But I love this job. I love it. Teaching is pretty much. Yes, I'm just happy everything happened the way it did. Because 20 years ago, people used to tell me I should be a teacher, and 20 years ago I was 23, and I, not the guy you see right now. Low self-esteem, didn't believe, didn't want to hear it, and but 20 years later, God's given me a great amount of experience. I got global experience. I've been all over the world in the military. I got some life experience. I'm an artist. Christian, you name it. I don't know everything, but as I always say, the greatest teachers are students. You got to be a student before you become a teacher. So I'm always willing to learn something and try to keep my mind open as much as I can, and that's where I'm at right now. So I'm very grateful for it.
Did they pay well in that previous role you were in? And are they paying you well in your current role, bro?
Yeah, paying me well. Yeah. I'm okay, but it comes down to the accolades. Some credentials. I'm still have a bachelor's degree in the TEFL, so I'm on a certain tier, and I'm still debating out what I should go up and mark. God's been good, but I that little itch. It's like maybe I should go higher up. But I'm content. I'm pretty content. So.
Awesome. Good stuff, bro. Happy for your success. Wonderful. Wishing you more success, bro, and a lot more promotions and better positions, brother. And wishing you a great wife, brother. Asian woman of your dreams, brother. That's Christian, that values you, submits to you, loves God, loves you, and you get that. You get that, bro. Keep believing, brother. Don't give up, brother. It's out there. You find it. So we got 15 more minutes left, right? Travel guy, you got any more questions? Yeah, you good?
Yeah, I just got one more. I'm just kind of curious if there are like a dark side of the culture, and I mean on the PG side. Like, is there like a dark side of the culture that's not really talked about, but you kind of peep, and it's there, but nobody really mentions it? Have you ran into anything like that?
Let's see. There is a dark side here. When it comes to situations that I'm trying to keep it light, but with situations that come to like school and things like that here, certain people and parties have some manipulation. Like, say for example, students are failing at stuff, and there's some little manipulation with grading. Situations where people serve as scapegoats, like they'll get somebody to be the scapegoat of a fraud. I've seen a little bit, but from afar. And obviously, the sexual scene is that's in the scene in itself. That's out here. But
sorry, brother. You telling me they cheat in their exam, or they get someone to do the exam for them, brother? Is that all?
I would say that they got somebody doing the exam for them, but here in China, things are very, very, very competitive here. And a lot of students go to universities and they lean on grades, and everything's about face. Just like if I see your grade is good, there's a chance you can, get X, Y, and Z. But everything's based on what they see, not about, what you really, what's inside or what you're really good at. And so there's some manipulation going on with the grading and that.
Oh,
So, yeah.
So rich people,
And
rich parents paying the grader isn't up. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
To
Try
up
not
it and then
to-
even money.
Yeah, I try not to say too much, but yeah, because some of them are, part of the gang, the good old gang. so some of them do that, and but it's all about like surviving. There are a lot of these people trying to stay afloat, and sometimes they compromise themselves, just to stay afloat, and I try hard to teach my students like don't cheat, man. Don't cheat. Not that I caught a few students cheating on my exams, but I said that stuff's gonna catch up with you, man. You can believe in luck and Buddha or whatever, but it's gonna catch up with you. And they're like, okay, but they're just trying to survive. That's their rationale. It's not all. I'm not saying it's all, but I have seen it happen. And I have a friend that he's here, he's teaching, and he kind of gave me 401. Was like, yeah, I had to give some grades, and a few students complained about me giving this grade, and I was like, what happened? He said, what did they do? They didn't do this. Okay, you graded them accordingly to their performance. Long story short, faculty pulled him in the office. Hey, could you kind of bump it up a little bit? I say, what? I said, this is a university. I said, bump it up. I was like, they told you that? He was like, yeah, they stood by it. I was like, okay. I said, this is America. I mean, I'm not saying America's perfect, but you get booted out. You get a little steal saying you get flagged, for that kind of stuff. But here, a lot of contradictions. They can do it, but you can't do it.
So what do you mean? So they're saying that they can do it, but black people can't do it? So what you mean?
I'm sorry.
So they can do it, but black people can't do it. Is that what you mean, bro? Hello?
I would say that's foreigners. Foreigners
Sorry.
Like
repeat that.
you could they can do certain. Yes, okay. I was saying that they can do certain shady things, but if we do it, we get, it's like, oh my God, how dare you do that kind of thing? Like if we wanted to do that, not that we would, but then we get treated differently as a result.
Wow. So
it's a lot of
would you say China is a corrupt country?
Yeah.
Yep. Damn.
You asked me straight up. Yeah, very much so. Yeah. Yep. I mean, there's good people doing things here, but there's always something, and I speak about students because you can see it. They're being what's the word? They're being sort of groomed because they don't like here in China's culture, as far as my experience goes, when it comes to interactions, relationships, I'll say relationships, meaning platonic relationships. Like in the West, wherever we're from, we invest in one another, depending if your energy or whatever, you guys are syncing with one another. They don't know what that's like. I said, because sometimes they'll call me, I know a lot of students, a lot of people, and they say, hey, TK, could you do something? And I haven't heard from this person for like a year, but they always call when they want something. And I had to tell them at the school, and say, look, I know I'm in your backyard and I respect that, but where I'm from, you're being pretty shady or two-faced, like you're not like being a real friend. You call me friend, but you only call me friend when you want something. So then they don't like hearing that kind of truth because it's all about what they get from you. And they don't, I question it a lot because I have a friend I chat with, she's a teacher, and I say, why do they do that? She said, no, culture. She always make an excuse for the culture. But I said, I think some people just don't care. They just don't. They don't understand the fruitfulness of relationships, of networking, and taking care of one. They take care of each other in their own way, culturally speaking. But when it comes to somebody that looks a little different, it's different. They like the brother said earlier, some monolith. It's just I don't know. They treat each other like that, And I say, wow, like you only here because you want something. It's not even like a true friendship per se. It's more, it's about what can I get. And I always tell my students, I say, it's not about you. They're like, oh, okay, but they're groomed to think like that. They all kind of do. They'll do what they can to get by. Some of them, whatever they can, whatever it takes.
Damn. Okay. Wow.
Again, this is just my experience. My experience on that. I can't speak for this. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if this is the right question to ask, but actually no. Let me leave out. I don't know. It's about the government. I think I'll leave out, bro. Is that best if I leave out? Government question.
Leave that one.
Okay.
Yeah, leave that out.
Okay. I'll leave out, bro. I'll leave out.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. Amazing live stream, brother. Incredible. Do I have any more questions? I got no more questions, brother. So,
Yeah,
Mr.
it's
TK, we got 10 minutes left, bro. 9 minutes now. Travel guy, what's your last question, bro, before I drop you off?
No, that's all I had. I appreciate you having me on, IP.
Thank you, travel guy. Speak soon.
Thank you for the questions too, man. Thank you for that.
Awesome.
I do have one. Can I say something before we leave, though? Can I say something?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And I'm sure a lot of brothers already know this and what I'm about to say, but I hope most of the brothers who are either watching this or going to watch this video, I hope we're men of God. I hope we're praying for not just our wives, but praying for our readiness for our wives. And of course, we will never be perfect. Never. Your wife will never be perfect either. But I hope that we pray for having a God-fearing woman who understands the order, the man, the woman, and the family. They understand that they received a counsel from the Lord, and that the woman receives a counsel from the Lord to honor you as her husband. And I hope we're praying. I hope we're repenting daily, like every day. Every time we wake up, I hope we're repenting, because there's always something we can be better at and repent from. But I hope we're praying, brothers. Prayer is powerful. I don't want to preach and all that, but I hope we're praying for the wives to be, and I hope we're praying for our readiness, because we all have things in us that we could be rid of, and we could be better men to potential girlfriends / wives, or even hopefully someday family. And I hope we are praying, because prayer does help. And that's all I'm gonna say.
No, amazing, brother. I want to say thank you very much, Mr. TK, for coming on here, brother. Dropping intel about your time in China, and I wish you all the best, all the success. And yes, let us know where you go. Let me know where you go to next, how that goes, and of course we'll get you on here again, bro. I think you would definitely love Japan. Now, you've been there before, but the Tokyo, the Osaka, the Yokohama, the whole.
Gosh, Otaru. I've been out there, man. Sasebo, Asugi. I pledged Sigma.
What's that?
The fraternity. My fraternity, Phi Beta Sigma, is in Asugi. We're called Nu Eta Sigma chapter, and that's where I pledged Sigma at. And but I love Japan, man. I gotta get back. I gotta get back. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Is that a Japanese fraternity?
No, it's a black fraternity, but they had a chapter of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Is Nu Eta Sigma is the chapter. It's the graduate chapter. Yeah, that's why I pledged back in 2005, right when I was in the Navy. All my brothers are Navy guys. So yeah, I haven't spoken to them in a while. I haven't seen them for years, but yeah, that was back in 2005. I was 25.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. Mr. TK, thank you, brother. I'm gonna let you go, brother. I know you got a busy day ahead in China. I know it's China moves at a fast pace over there in that country, brother. Thank you, bro, and I'll be in touch. Okay, brother.
Okay, man. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome. Take it easy, brother. Peace out, bro.
Peace.
Awesome. That was TK in the building. Amazing live stream, brothers. Amazing. Wow. Brothers, man. Amazing. Wow. Speechless, man. Speechless. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, brothers, man. Traveling, new experiences, coming on here, giving that intel to brothers, brotherhood. That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about, brothers. So, okay. I'm about to end the live stream. Okay. Shout out to our guest, right, who came on here and jumped into by his time in China. You know the deal, brothers. Join the Patreon. Look out for the check out the Python class of September 2023 to join my upcoming Python course. I'll be teaching you brothers interactively once a week. We're gonna get you out there, brothers. We're gonna save you, brothers, man. Okay, you're gonna experience life in its true essence. Get into IT, get your passport, book your consultations with me on my Calendly link. It's all that, all the help you need, all the solutions to the horrible day and scene is here on my channel, right? I wish the brother all the best in China. Hope he has more good experiences. I hope for his safety and everything, man. Really happy, man. Really happy, right? Amazing live stream. And of course, shout out to brothers who are currently in the Manosphere Conference in Atlanta, doing big things, networking, expanding the horizons, meeting new people, networking, IT bros, passport bros, solutions upon solutions upon solutions upon solutions. Don't just watch my channel, apply yourself. Apply yourself, okay? Y'all can do it, man. Believe in yourself. China, not for me. Here's a link to my consultations. China isn't for me. Not interested in China. To keep it a stack. But if you're interested in China, I hope this live stream helped you, helped guided you, gave you more information. So where's everyone listening in from? Who's currently at the conference? If you're currently in the conference, press it 2. What city and country listening in from? Last 2 minutes. I'm going to end the live stream. And may we all have a great day ahead. Okay? May we all have a great day ahead. Who's in the building, man? All right. What's going on, brothers? Last minute. Country, city you're listening in from. Let me know if you're currently at the conference. Oh, man. Let me know, brothers. Y'all quiet today, huh? Y'all quiet today? Y'all quiet today, brothers? All right, man. So, shout out to you, Bala Jallo. Awesome. Greenwood Village, Colorado. Awesome, bro. Shout out to the brothers. Shout out to all the supporters who hit the super chats. Let me the PayPal real quick before I log off. PayPal real quick. To the PayPal. All right. Tired, bruv. Man. Busy flipping day, bruv. Busy day. All right, brothers. Yeah. Take it easy. And I'll see you, brothers, on the next video. Peace out. Thank you. Shout out to you, Aussie. New York, NY. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Peace out, brothers.